Okay, welcome back from closed session. And before we report on closed session, I'm going to look to the clerk. She would like to do roll call once again.
Thank you so much. If you can please state your name for the record. Member from the City of Colton.
John Echeverria.
Thank you. Member from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
Member from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Member from the County of San Bernardino, 5th District.
Baca Jr. present.
And members from the City of San Bernardino.
Theodore Sanchez. Fred Charette.
Thank you.
I'm going to look to our city attorney. Are you ready, or do you want us to just shoot the breeze for a second? Okay. Right now we're going to report out on closed session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As to items B, C, D, and E on the closed session agenda, no reportable action was taken. As to item A, which is or now was pending litigation by Franco versus San Bernardino International Airport Authority, San Bernardino County Superior Court case number CIV SB 2322130. Plaintiff alleged 5 causes of action against SBIAA and 1 employee, 1 individual. The allegations were seen as patently frivolous by the airport, and the decision was made to challenge the action with a full defense. Following discovery, SBIAA filed a motion for summary judgment, and it was granted by the court in full. Following oral argument, the case was dismissed in its entirety, this was a decision that the commission made to, many public agencies will offer what we call nuisance value, where you see a case that just doesn't have any value to it, but you don't want to spend a bunch of attorney's fees on it either. This commission made the decision to take that case on with a full defense, and you came out completely victorious.
That is great news, and we want to say congratulations. Great work on behalf of the law firm, and thank you for representing the airport so well.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to our open session at this time, and I'm going to ask Fred Charette if he'll lead us into the pledge.
Thank you, Mayor. If you will join me as we pledge to our...
Thank you, Fred. Any items to be added or deleted from the agenda?
No items.
Okay, thank you. Any conflict of interest disclosures at this time? Hearing none. Informational items. We'll move to our CEO and your report.
I'm actually going to move to Ms. Casares, who has a nice surprise on our website. Amber.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I would like to introduce you to the new SBIAA.org website. This is a beta site, so I would like to point out that we are actively editing the content and updating its functionality to ensure that it will be accurate at the time it goes live. But this new site is for the San Bernardino International Airport Authority. It's featuring a fresh, modern platform with a more user-friendly experience, improved navigation, and easier access to important information and resources. The site mirrors the upcoming IVDA site, so users will encounter a similar functionality when visiting both sites. And both sites we intend to launch at the same time, so both agencies will receive a refreshed look in tandem. The site features a clean government-style layout with a color palette that is reminiscent of the San Bernardino International Airport's brand, while conveying authority and parity between the agency and the airport. The intuitive navigation that you see here at the top of the page, let me just move my mouse over, features main categories that are logically sequenced, making it easier for stakeholders to find relevant information. Sub-navigation, like you can see on About SBIAA, also features brief descriptions to further guide users to their desired destination. When meetings are occurring, the color will change on the live stream button that you see here below the video, which will help indicate that the public meetings are now viewable online. Visitors have easy access to agendas. And again, as I mentioned, we are working on this area, but they can easily toggle between years to see content from different years and easily access the various files. So the site also will share business plans. Under About SBIAA, we'll have access to the business plan updates that we share each year. And also, we have a content area here that talks about aviation development at SBIAA and the core aeronautical lines that we support and the overall development of the airfield. And we also show here as well opportunities. So we have the bidding portal that is new to the airport, the new service that we have here. And we also have room rentals, which will be available through the IVDA's website. Leasing spaces, employment opportunities that highlight the benefits of working at the airport. Again, we are working to correct this information, but our goal is to have a similar environment between both sites for ease of use. And last but not least, we have easy ways for the community to contact us, to either reach out to us directly about any information they want to share with us, or also in requesting public information requests. And that is the new website.
Very nice. Will you still have the Good Neighbor?
Yes, we still have the Good Neighbor program. We also have flysbd.com and the Luxaver SBD website.
Very nice. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Comments?
I had one question, Chair. I know the big thing now that they're really pushing, at least with the county, is to make sure that websites are ADA compliant. Does this meet ADA compliance?
We will be working towards that as the deadline approaches over the next 2 years. But yes, we do intend to keep that in our forecast.
Okay, thank you.
And then we will also include a translation tool on the website. It's not there yet, but that way it'll also provide ease of use.
Yeah, because I know a lot of agencies have really been pushing to try to get ahead of it and not wait till the end, but just wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Interesting. Okay, thank you. And then, Mike,
we-
you want to report on the next one?
We've got one more here. Obviously, you're going to be looking at a budget here in a few minutes, and we wanted to give you a quick update on our FAA grant funding. So I'm going to ask Mr. Gibbs to go ahead and give you the latest.
Thank you, Mike. As the airport continues to grow and evolve and activities increase on the airport, commensurate with that is also grant funding from the FAA through the Airport Improvement Program for big infrastructure projects taking place on the airport. And we continue to go through that list with the FAA. We expect to have 3 projects underway this summer and expect to receive our first grant before this month is out and be under construction on 2 more during this summer and the months ahead. So it's a great time to see some of these projects move forward through Mr. Barrow's department. And you'll see some of those numbers included in the capital budget that Mr. Kuzno goes over with you today.
Perfect.
And, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, so that was C. Did you have anything you wanted to report on the Tech Advisory Committee?
Just that we were able to convene them. We got some great feedback. This is a program that got introduced in 2016. Due to quorum restrictions, the executive committee it gets invited to that. Mayor Navarro was able to attend. There's a cross-section of community folks, industry people, everything from general aviation, air cargo, as well as our tenant base questions that we may field, and just a sounding board for staff to be able to say, hey, what are we missing? How are things going? So the new program that we launched at the terminal with the mission support canines was a big feature of that, and Carol Beswick and the team who helped start that were present to give us the latest and greatest. So just really appreciate those folks taking their time to be able to give us some good guidance and make sure we're on the right track.
Mike, I forget, how often does that committee meet?
It's once a year.
Okay.
It's once a year. But we, as we have new programs or things coming up, I make sure that we're emailing them to keep them in the loop, so that when we do have the meeting based off of their availability, that they've got some background going into that. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions?
All right. That concludes our reports. So.
Thank you. And Mark, good job on all the grant information. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, we'll move on to our consent items.
Second.
We have a motion from Fred and a second from Supervisor on consent items, move it 3 through 7. All those in favor? Or
Aye.
do I need to do a roll call?
Yes, please.
Okay, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sorry.
We have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Baca. Please state your votes for the record. Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Baca Junior Aye.
Member Echevarria?
Yes.
Member Sanchez?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to item 8 and consider and adopt the San Bernardino International Airport Authority budget. And I'm going to look to you, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. And off we go. So, as always, we will start with the annual budget structure overview for the airport, and then we will look at the proposed budget for fiscal year 25-26, and follow that with a little bit out of order and cover our pricing for the airport fees as well as Luxafare, and then finally, if the commission desires, we'll get into the details of our performance over last year and with our proposed budget. So our structure, our budget structure, we focus on a conservative approach. We take into account unique industry and economic circumstances. We actively resource or manage our resources and our revenue. And we provide quarterly budget to actual updates to the commission. We also provide on-demand department reports, so those can be seen with the new Sage accounting system, as well as we will bring budget adjustments to the commission as needed throughout the fiscal year. Our structure as a airport enterprise fund is it's a single fund. Our major revenues are in the darker blue boxes, so we have intergovernmental revenues and resources. That would include our FAA grants. We have lease revenues, and within those other resources, our other major flow is our airport fees, as well as our fuel sales and the gross profits on those. And finally, the other is our bond and other debt proceeds that provide us the cash and resources that flow into our general fund to operate. Within the general fund, we have a fixed-based operator, our Luxavere SBD, our property management activity, as well as debt service where we serve our bonds, and then capital projects. For fiscal year 25-26, we're looking at beginning cash of $6.4 million. The general fund has $7.6 million in it as far as new revenue goes for the year. Property management, $14.9 million. We're looking at capital projects at $10.9 million, and that does include grant funds. And we have no debt service income or revenue or proceeds coming in this year. And then the FBO or Luxavere is anticipated to have $77.5 million in fuel and other related sales. Our general fund uses by department, you can see, and I should say that we have taken some of our other departments and rolled them up into more larger categories. We have some subdivisions as well. But with administration, we're looking at $7.4 million. Development, that's $14.6 million, and that includes $13.7 or $8 million in capital projects proposed for the fiscal year. Property management, we're looking at $1.4 million for basically, that's almost the utilities for the grants for the most part, as well as some professional services. Luxavere SBD will have almost $4.7 million in revenues. Airport manager, 5.8. Sorry, uses, I'm saying revenues. These are all expenditures. Excuse me. Airport manager, $5.8 million. That includes our services for about $1.3 million for the upcoming year, which is our aircraft firefighting and rescue. Maintenance for the airport, $3.8 million. We're expected to spend or expend about $1.8 million in the terminals this year. Information technology, $1.4 million. Our security activities on the airport was $2 million. And finally, marketing at $2.1 million. And then in conclusion, as we mentioned, are continually focus on realistic revenue timing in regards to the amounts and the timing of those. Conservative appropriations for needs. We rarely went through the budget asks by department this year in a lot of detail, looking not only at actual, but what they actually spent, as well as what they requested. Revenue cycle management, and then, as I mentioned in the first slide, forthcoming budget updates. And then moving into our proposed budget for this year. Last year, when we introduced SAGE, we moved into what we call budget classes. So we consolidated lots of similar accounts, line item accounts, into a budget class. Easiest example I can think of is we had various utilities, water, electric, gas. Those are all rolled up into a single budget class. That allows us flexibility while we're operating, as well as reduces the number of budget adjustments that come to the commission. So starting with revenues for the proposed budget, we're looking at key aeronautical revenues, that includes Luxair and SBD, based on 25.8 million gallons of aviation fuel sales. That will produce $6.4 million in fuel gross profit, including about $5.3 million in third-party into-plane fees. Our fuel, for every gallon that's sold, generates a small piece of revenue for that, and that totals up for the year to $3.1 million. And then landing fees are estimated to be $1.7 million for the year. Our key non-aeronautical revenues are leases and licenses, and that comes from our tenants' leases as well as the parking that we have, and that is going to produce $14.5 million in revenue this year. And as far as non-operating revenues, that is where our federal grants flow into, and that will be just about $10.9 million. As far as expenses go, we're looking at budget classes. Our personnel costs proposed are $13,763,000. That is higher than last year, but that can be tied back to our class and comp that you approved last fiscal year, as well as our normal salary increases that go through our annual, as we go through our annual year for our step increases. Insurance is $800,000 proposed. We may have an adjustment coming to that. We started with a new insurance broker this year, and we're still waiting for those final premiums to come in, as well as the allocation between SBIAA and our sister agency, IVDA. Professional services, which we will discuss also on agenda item 9, is budgeted at $1.4 million, and that is just about a little bit less than what we had on the budget last fiscal year. Utilities, $1.8 million, which is also lower than last fiscal year. Our telecommunications is $242,500, which compares favorably to $250,600 budget from last year. Repairs and maintenance is a $1,543,000. That is significantly less than what we budgeted last year, and partly that's we're more fine-tuning what we do with our expenses when we record them, and they're going into different budget classes. So that's a big part of that reduction, as well as we're made sure that we were just budgeting for what we need. Parts and supplies is budgeted at $996,750. That's just about $500,000 less than last year. Same situation where we found a better job when we're actually doing our purchase orders and coding our expenses and getting them in the right categories. Other expenses is going $6.8 million, which is an increase of almost $900,000, and that's where some of those other costs I mentioned are getting recorded. Those other expenses includes $1.8 million in marketing expenditures, as well as our aircraft rescue and firefighting services for $1.3 million. Capital expenditures is budgeted at $15,489,000. Overall, we're looking at $42 million, or $42,875,885. Is flat as compared to fiscal year 24-25, basically about $98,000, $100,000 less than what we budgeted last year. Were there any questions at this stage of the game? Nope. And then the other thing we have is our Luxavere, and that's attachment number 5, Luxavere SBD pricing policy. We are basically making some small changes to that. They're going up roughly about 10%. That kind of makes up for our inflationary costs over the last couple of years. We don't increase every year, but we do a catch up every 2 years to more or less capture our market or cost changes. The airport fee schedule, the key item here, and this is attachment 4, the fuel flowage fee is increasing from 11 cents a gallon to 12 cents a gallon, and that one itself will produce just about $258,000 in increased revenues for the fiscal year. And the only other part I have left is the detailed discussion, if the commission desires to get into as far as fiscal year 24-25 budget to actual. And then we have that through June 19th.
Any questions for Supervisor?
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple questions. I saw our capital improvement budget. I guess my question is, the money that we get, through SBIAA, can this commission make off-site improvements, in other words, around the airport? Are we allowed to do that
My understanding is probably on the very perimeter, but going off actual airport property, you're going to run into FAA restrictions as far as revenue.
Yeah, there's a key provision with airports related to what they call revenue diversion. And so every dime that is raised on airport with airport assets has to be used on airport purposes, airport properties. So going off airport is something that they definitely sanction and don't support.
No, I appreciate that. And just as we look at the future of the airport, I know that we can do some things on site, and the county is looking to make some help with a few on-site improvements, but anything off-site, I think us as a board or commission have to start looking on ways we can make investments or partner with investments to make improvements to make the airport more attractive. The other thing we have to consider is, I know that you have a pretty good marketing budget, which I think is good, but I was looking, and do we have a social media page for SBIAA? We do? On what platform?
Yeah, so Amber will manage the social media posts, which we'll do on a per event kind of basis. So I don't know if you want to speak to that, Amber.
We have social media profiles for the airport on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also have social media profiles for Luxavere SBD and Norton, our airport wildlife management dog.
Okay, I guess I just have to find them. I couldn't find them. I was trying to figure out how to find them. But no, I just think it's important that we continue to tell our story, about the great things we're doing, the investments, the flights, and if there's future flights, just continue to tell our story. But maybe I just need to do a little more digging myself. Thank you.
If you visit flysbd.com and scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll find the links to the airport social media.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You do a good job on those social medias as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions for Mark? It's been a challenging year with the new SAGE system, so, and the executive committee meets every quarter to refine, and Mark keeps us abreast in the changes. So I just want to say thank you for the hard work that you've gone through this year with the challenging of the new system. So with that, no more questions on the budget.
Baca Junior moves.
We supervisor motion and Fred Charette second. Roll call.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Charette. Please state your votes for the record. Member Lilburn,
Yes.
Member Rigsby,
Yes.
Member Baca,
Baca Junior, aye.
Member Echevarria,
Yes.
Member Sanchez,
Yes.
and Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9, approve certain professional services. And Mark?
Thank you, Mayor. This is our normal slate of professional services agreements that we bring forward to the commission for approval. For any amounts that are approved, we will sit there and we ensure that this is only essentially task order type agreements that we're asking for. Services are delivered and we're paying for, obviously their expenses, but their time and materials basis. I would also say that anything that is approved, that if the amount exceeds that, it comes back to the commission for adjustment and approval at that stage of the game. And be happy to answer any other question. That concludes
Baca
my
Junior
report.
moves.
Thank you, Supervisor. Dusty, was that a second? Okay. We have a motion by Supervisor and a second by Rigsby. Roll call, please.
Thank you. A motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Lilburn,
Yes.
Member Rigsby,
Yes.
Member Baca,
Baca Junior, aye.
Member Echevarria,
Yes.
Member Sanchez,
Yes.
and Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll look to you, Mike, for a review status of the action plan for the airport.
Yes, thank you all. I want to echo the mayor's comments to Mr. Cousineau and our entire team, because everybody this year, including the Finance and Budget Committee, Executive Committee, had to learn a new language called SAGE. So thank you. The level of accuracy and detail that this platform provides is pretty impressive. So what our team is really excited about is looking at some of the new forecasting tools that it allows us to do to really refine this new budget and obviously the expenses that we see going forward in the coming months. Coming up this year again, as we've talked about, the annual the business plan, the 5-year, 10-year business plan is up for update. So I will be working with all of you on setting workshops to start analyzing that and looking at what the future should hold for SBIAA and the region. So that concludes my report.
Perfect. Great. Perfect timing. Thank you for that. Any open session public comments?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. And any comments from commission members?
Madam Chair, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just one comment, just one of the things that the county has done over the several years is they've made a lot of investments in Ontario International Airport. There's been a lot of advocacy for the Ontario International Airport. So the county's made several investments. What I've been able to do now that I serve on this board, has really been an advocate for the county to make some small investments here in SBIAA. I know I'm working with Mike. As soon as we get the details rolled out, the county will be making some small investments over the next couple of years, and we're excited about doing everything we can to help this airport and do our small part as a county.
That's great news, Supervisor. Nice to hear that. Okay, any other comments other than thank you, appreciate the tour that you set up for the commission members to go through the Amazon. I remember when maybe 4.5 years ago, we thought it was crazy back then, but it was a great backdoor tour today. Thank you for setting that up. And anyone who hasn't had the opportunity, I really think you should do it. So thank you for that, Mike. And yes, please.
I also want to comment on the website I saw today. I think it's very interesting. It's not like your typical boring website where it has your attention for a few seconds and then you lose it. So I think it's a great job on that. And then also, as our honorable supervisor asked about the social media, I do follow. It is engaging, and have seen you guys out in the community, so keep up the good work. Thank you.
Very good. With no other comments, we're going to go ahead and adjourn. Good job. Oh, thank you, sir.